So it's kind of a red letter day. Of course, I got my paycheck and I got a new pillow, which is going to be awesome. Another thermal blanket and like a whole mess of food. I think like if I can just keep stocking up, I can hopefully have enough to last me for like a while where I can start putting money towards my debts so that I can kind of start to unbury myself from, the big reason I'm homeless to begin with. Yeah, debts, things like my car payment. There's a lot of other things that I feel like, as time goes on, I, I'd like to get into them, but they're kind of one of those, I don't know, it's a lot of stuff that just kind of snowballed into where I'm at. But having you guys comment and be really positive, I don't know. Today I feel way better. Like I can do this. Like it's hard when you have when you don't have anybody in your corner and you're just kind of out there, and like the limited interactions you get with people are typically not positive. Um, is what it is. You're like one night I was trying to sleep in a Bi-Mart parking lot, and it was like 27 or 28 degrees. Like it was freezing. In my old car, I had the interior completely ripped out because it gotten full of black mold. So I had to strip it down to the metal, and I called it my rolling dumpster because it's just basically a metal frame with an engine. And yeah, I was freezing, and I had to sleep because again it was a two-door, and most of my stuff was in the back, where the passenger seats in the back used to be. It was basically like a bucket with the battery exposed because for some reason they put the battery underneath the passenger seat. But yeah, I had to like roll the chair back and basically sleep like this, with the with my sweatshirt kind of stuffed here, and a sleeping bag, and the one thermal sleeping bag apparently wasn't enough. And yeah, I wake up to just, like, oh, and yeah, it was the police, and they're not so forgiving. He basically told me, like, you have to leave this parking lot right now or we're going to charge you with trespassing. Again, like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm already, I just finally gotten to sleep, because I don't know if you've ever tried to sleep when it's negative 28 degree, or not negative, but 28 degrees out, slightly below freezing. It sucks. And it's hard. But yeah, I just finally passed out. And yeah, that's what I woke up to, was rapping on my window. But I mean, again, especially if you're parked in front of somebody's house, you're going to have the creep factor. So I get somebody coming out and being like, oh, what the hell are you doing here? But surprisingly, at the time, I got a job at Walmart. And I don't know how Walmart is in your guys' area, but they were super chill with me living in their parking lot. Again, it still sucked, but at least I didn't get woken up at 2 in the morning, like, getting treated like a criminal right away just for wanting to get some sleep in like, it's kind of one of those homeless hacks, is if you can, especially if you can, swing it in a car, try and stay in a well-lit parking lot, because people mess with you less. Like, they either assume you own whatever business is there, or they, especially the mean homeless people, which of course there are, there's some, or the guys that are trying to hit you up for cigarettes or something. Most of those guys will leave you alone if you're in a well-lit area. I mean, it kind of sucks if your bed's, positioned where the light's in your eyes, but there's ways around that. But yeah, I've found somebody that, because I can't exactly, you don't really want to sleep at your employer's parking lot, especially I'm working for a smaller employer right now, where it'd be pretty noticeable that I don't leave, and I'm there, before anybody else is there, and I'm changing in my car, which I think that's going to be kind of one of my next upgrades, is like something privacy screening, maybe those little things that you can like but yeah, like with Walmart, the parking lot was enormous, so you could be all the way out in the sticks. It's still well lit. I just had to like basically walk a block to get to my work in the morning. They had everything I needed. They got food, your soap, and camping supplies, all that stuff that makes it bearable. So I mean, it's a pretty sweet deal. For anybody that's watching that, like, you don't know where to start, especially if you're unemployed, like, and I guess again, if the Walmarts are cool with it in your area, it's actually a great place to work if you're pretty much at the bottom. Like, again, well lit. All my managers, there was a couple of us that lived homeless in the Walmart parking lot. I mean, I don't know what that says about Walmart as an employer. Cough. But actually, I can't even say that. The wages were fair for the area. Yeah, it gave me a place to sleep that I wasn't getting messed with, and even has the added bonus of, like, if you work there and you are getting messed with in the parking lot, you built-in security. Like, you could just walk right in and be like, yo, hey, I work here, and some guy in the parking lot's messing with me. And boom, the police arrive, but they're on your side. So yeah, another little, thing. I would assume that, like, mall jobs would kind of be the same. You got your mall security, and as long as they know you and they're cool with it, like, again, well lit, built-in security, the cops aren't called on you, but you can get people to stop messing with you. So yeah, one of those kind of hacks. And to kind of bring it full circle back to today being a good day, is I got lots of vegetables. They're dried, of course, and dried mangoes. I will tell you this: if you're new to the game, you might be tempted to go with bulk trail mix, because you figure whatever kind you got like raisins, nuts, maybe some other kinds of fruits in there, and especially if you go with the ones with, like, a couple M&Ms throughout it, you at least get some, like, some dopamine from the chocolate, which is like a good boy snack, but don't overdo it. Oh my God, especially if you don't have a lot of fiber in your diet. It comes out the same way it went in. And yeah, I learned that the hard way. Because yeah, I bought tons of trail mix when I first went homeless, to the point where, like, that's all I had to eat for a couple of days. And ow. So I figured out that dried mango slices, they're super high in fiber, or at least they keep you regular, and they're relatively cheap, and they'll keep in your, like, for me, I don't know if I've got one available. You can hear the avalanche of stuff as I try to, like, that's usually my Saturdays and Sundays, is like, getting my hovel in order. But these guys, I got another one of these today. Just real simple, real cheap, screw off cap. You can throw your, it's not real gold, by the way, it's a $7 ring I bought, but because my fingers are really fat and it's hard for me to find rings, so anytime I'm like at a fair or something like that and I actually find a ring that's like cheap and it fits me, I'm like, oh, because even if you are living homeless, it's nice to feel like you look halfway decent. And for me, I kind of like stuff that looks cool. But yeah, these things are super useful. So I'm gonna fill up the ones that I've got, and you can kind of stash them wherever, get to them whenever you want, keeps them fresh, keeps bugs out of them. It's another one of those problems people probably don't think about too much, is like, especially in the summertime, like, it's hot as hell, and you got to keep your windows open so you don't overheat and die. But then you also get swarmed by insects. So things like citronella candles, bee repellent, mosquito, yeah, fly tape, things like that. It's kind of stuff that, as I head into summer, I'll talk about, because I mean, that might be a while from now, but I mean, I'm in a pretty deep hole, and it's going to take a long time for me to get out of it. And again, that's, why I created this, is like, I know it's going to be a slog. And again, your guy, everybody who commented with support has, it makes me feel like I can do this. There are definitely those days when you have no one in your corner, and that's most of those guys out there, guys and gals. You'll usually see them with like their one friend that they've got. They stick together, your wolf pack. Because there's one guy in the parking lot I'm staying now. Because across the street is a recovery center, so they're not strangers to seeing people living on the streets or in their car, and they're usually pretty supportive. Sometimes they have events where they do like, a cookout. Oh my God, that was so nice. I ate like a king. But there's one guy, I won't name drop him, but he's constantly getting his stuff stolen, and it sucks. And one day, I just chatted him up, and I was cooking, what was it? It was probably ramen. But yeah, he came by, of course, asking for a cigarette, which, a lot of people be like, well, why didn't you just quit smoking? It's like, because you have so little in your life you get to enjoy, especially when it starts getting cold or starts getting extremely hot, or somebody just stole everything you have. It's like, I need a cigarette, because everybody else needs me to have a cigarette. But yeah, this guy John, he'd gotten all of his stuff stolen, and they'd kicked him a few times, mostly in the chest or around, because when you're getting your ass kicked, you curl up into a ball and try and reduce how much area they can hit you. But yeah, after we had been done talking, I was kind of worried about him, so I went looking for him, and the dude started crying because he's like, no one ever worries about me. The poor guy, yeah, he just got his ass beat and all of his stuff stolen, all the stuff he needed to survive out here. And, he had one person, come look for him, make sure he's okay. And it broke him. Like, it hurt in a good way, Like, it's, a lot of us just need, like, just those couple of times of people just giving you, like, a little kindness, and it keeps you going, Like, the other day, my favorite park, I don't know, did I already mention that story? I might do this a lot. Like, again, this is, mostly just me rambling in order to get things out, but yeah, I found this guy's keys. I got them back to him, and he gave me $20, and I again, I wasn't expecting anything. It was just the right thing to do, but I was so grateful because I got to do my laundry for real, and so I don't have like any musty smell or parts of my clothing that just didn't wash right, things like that. Like, I had nice clean clothes, and like the sweatshirt, I love this sweatshirt, but it was getting kind of stanky. So like, now it smells good. And yeah, it's just those little things, those little kindnesses. There's guys and gals out there that have kind of lost their marbles, and I'd hate for that to be everyone's interpretation of people in, like my condition or my situation. Is like, yeah, a lot of us end up kind of losing our minds. And you either find people to back you up, or you end up alone, and like, that's the worst place you can be. So again, you guys really saved me by, just saying nice things, and ignore the haters. That's, like I said, I've told one of the commenters, like, I was fully expecting to get, hate and ridicule. I'm an easy target. So yeah, just stay positive, like you guys are telling me to. And we'll all get through this life together.